Hey everybody, Mr. Wagner here. Today we are working on Flappy 10 and we're going to try implementing score and high score into our game. So let's get going. All right, here we go. So Flappy 10 I have up here running. When I run this, what I want to do is I want to just put the score and the high score down here in the base. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. And we're just going to use a simple text box. There's a lot of different ways that you could write this code, but we're just going to use a text box like we did in Breakout and in Pong. Okay. So that being said, we want to copy that text box class from Breakout. Now, very handily, I already have it pulled up here from, let's see here, this is Breakout 16. And I have it in idle. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, Command C, and we'll paste it in here. On my lessons, I'll have it separated so you can very easily copy it yourself, and that way you can use it very easily. Let's put this right down here after our bird class, but before our make pipes function. And Command V. There's our text box. Now, if you remember, the text box took an X and a Y, where we want the text box, took the size of the font, and then it took a color and a background color. So let's see if we can go ahead and instantiate, in other words, make those objects so then we can use them. So right before the game loop, let's go ahead and create our variables for like score. So let's set our score to 0, because that makes sense, right? And high score will also be 0. Oops. I'm going to name my text box txt score. And I'm going to say that that is a text box. And remember, the text box needs an X and a Y. So I'm going to say 80, 430, and a size 40. And the next thing we want is a color. I'm just going to put 000 because that's black. And we need another color, but the other color, this one's kind of interesting. We want it to be the background color, so we want that background color to be the same as the color of the base. And this is another reason PyCharm is so great. So I'm going to look at my project. I'm going to find that base PNG, which is right here. And I'm going to click this little color picker thing. And I'm going to pick that color. And I want you to notice it's 221, 216, 157. So I'm going to write those down. And then we can plug those into our code. Okay, so what did I say? 221, 216, 157. All right, so there's our text box for the score. And copy paste to make our high score. That one is at 50, 470, and also 40, and then our colors are all the same. So there's our text score, there's our text high score. That's great, but let's go ahead and draw those in there before we start trying to actually keep score. So we got to go look down to where we are drawing our stuff, and we actually have to draw this text box after we have done our base image, because if we do it before, the base image will just draw over it and then we'll never see it. Okay, So we're going to put it here. We're going to say text score dot draw. Remember, we need the screen because we're drawing on the screen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use that format string code F and then score colon curly bracket score. I think that'll do it. And very similarly, text high score dot draw. We need the screen and we need F quote high score colon curly bracket high score. Oops, that's capital. Okay, just like that. All right, let's see if we can run it and we get score and high score up there. Oh, look at that. Nice. Score and high score. So certainly looks like we know what we're doing. Okay, let me close that. Let's see what we can actually do about keeping score. In this game, what we want to do is we want to bump up that score point by 1 whenever the bird passes the backside of a particular pipe, right? So let's go up in here and see where we are drawing our pipes and our birds. Here's where we draw our pipes. Here's where we draw our bird. So maybe right here after we draw the bird, we'll say something like for P in pipes, right? We need to look at our pipes. We're going to say if Fabby.rect, remember that's the rectangle of the bird, is greater than equal to the pipe.rect.right. We actually want the left side, so we're looking to see if the left side of Fabby is greater than equal to the right side of a pipe. Kind of makes sense, right? Okay. And if that's the case, then we are just going to say score plus equals 1. And then we're going to break. Okay? And I'm pretty sure this ain't going to work, but sometimes you have to just try things and then keep thinking about how it is that the logic works in order to get it to run. So let's go ahead and run. And we start, score 0, that's fine. The moment I go past that pipe, so let's start. Let's fly this bird past this pipe, see what happens to our score. Oh my gosh, now look, our score is just flying and it like jumps up every time we get to like 300. Isn't that weird? It's like it almost goes 100 at a time. Okay. So what's really happening here is that bird is passing the pipe, but then every time it's past the pipe, it keeps bumping that score up. So we really need to add something to the pipe to say, okay, we've passed the pipe, so we no longer want to increase that score, okay? And the way we want to do that is actually pretty straightforward, I think. We're just going to say p.score counted equals true. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a variable to our pipe that says the score counted, whether it's true or false. Okay, now if we say p.score counted is true, then we also have to put in here and p.score counted, equals false. Okay. And let's do it this way, and not. Okay. So if the left side of Fabby is past the right side of a pipe, and that pipe score has not been counted, then we bump up the score, and then we count the score. Okay, now that's great, except we have to add score counted into our pipe code. So let's go do that. Let's bump up, let's find our pipes. Oh, that's our bird. Here's our pipes. Okay, so we're going to say here self dot score counted equals false. Okay, so we have made our score counted to be false. Okay, all right, and let's see how that runs. Let's run that. So we run. Okay, now this is kind of interesting. Our score counted is always 2, 4, 6. Okay, but a couple things. It didn't reset that score counted again, so that's kind of weird. And it's doubling the score every time. So I think the doubling the score every time is because what we really want to do is just check to see if the bird is past the upper pipe and not the lower pipe. And if you remember, in our pipe we had this sibling being none, okay? If our sibling is none, then we're dealing with the upper pipe. So we can put that down here in our code. Let's take a look at that, where we have our scoring. Right here on line 204, this is where we are checking to see if Fabby is past the pipe. The score's not counted, but we also want to check if we're only dealing with the upper pipe. So we can have here, and I'm going to drop this onto the next line, P dot sibling is not equal to none. Okay, so P has a sibling, right? All right, let's try that. Click. See how our scores do. We always have to test a lot. Okay. Let's try that. Always good to test things. I've gotten pretty good at this game testing. Okay, so now, whoops. Now it's scoring 1. Score 2, 3, 4. Okay, now notice our score did not keep increasing. Okay, now I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but I suspect it has to do when we're regenerating our pipe after it's gone off to the left. Okay, so let's look at where we've regenerated our pipe going off to the left, and there we probably need to reset that P score counted again. Okay, that's in our pipe code, probably in the update of the pipe code. Right here, here's our pipe, here's our update of the pipe code, and basically here our pipe has gone off to the left. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just type in self dot score counted equals false. Let's try that again. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. This should go to 5. 5 it does. This should go to 6. Wow, if I played okay. Okay, so I think that part is working. Now I want you to notice when I click on restart, my score stays the same and my high score doesn't increase. So when we restart, we need to see if our high score is better than the score, in which case our high score becomes a new score, and our score needs to go back to 0. No, it does not do that. So we need to look at where our restart code is, and that's in our spacebar press, mouse press. All right. It's right in here. That's when Flappy is stopped. So this is our restart code. Okay. So we can drop it in here. We can say if score is greater than high score, then we can say high score equals score, right? And then we're just going to reset our score back to 0. And that should work fine. Let's try it. Score is 0, high score is 0. One. Okay. Now we're restarting. Score should go back to 0, high score should be 2. Okay, see how that works? Now let's see, let's go ahead and see if we can get to 3. Okay, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, very good. Okay, so my score is 5, my high score is 2, and let's click. So my high score should be 5, score should be 0, and sure enough, that works. All right, very good. We got score and high score working. I hope you understood what we did there. If not, rewatch the video. Shoot me any emails if you got questions. And I will see you on Flappy 11. Bye.